Apple is still facing some serious technical challenges in its journey toward launching a truly crease-free foldable iPhone. While most signs suggest that Apple's first foldable device could arrive sometime next year, a fresh report indicates the company hasn't fully solved one critical problem yet: eliminating the visible crease from the folding display. According to well-known tipster digital chat station, Apple is struggling to perfect a folding screen that looks completely flat when opened. Even the latest foldables on the market, including Samsung's recently launched Z Trifold, still show subtle creases where the hinge sits. While this doesn't affect usability, it slightly impacts the overall premium look, something Apple is famously obsessed with. Leaks over the past year have consistently suggested that Apple's engineers are determined to ship a foldable device without any visible crease, but based on the latest information, that goal hasn't been fully achieved yet. Apple is reportedly experimenting with multiple versions of ultra-thin flexible glass in an attempt to overcome this issue, and the foldable iPhone is now expected to debut around September. If that happens, next year could be one of the busiest periods in Apple's history. Reports already suggest a major shakeup in Apple's launch schedule, with the iPhone 18 Pro arriving as usual in September, while the standard iPhone 18 could be delayed until March 2027. Adding a foldable iPhone to that lineup would push Apple into completely uncharted territory. There are also rumors that Apple's foldable iPhone could feature an under-display camera, allowing for a fully uninterrupted screen with no notch or punch hole. As for the name, nothing has been confirmed yet. iPhone Fold seems like the obvious choice, but it feels almost too simple for Apple's branding standards. What really sets this device apart, though, is how Apple is approaching the crease problem at a deeper engineering level. Unlike competitors, Apple is focusing on a tightly integrated system where metal support plates work in harmony with variable thickness ultra-thin glass to distribute stress more evenly across the display. This is especially interesting because Samsung's latest Z Fold still shows a visible seam despite using similar metal plate technology, suggesting Apple may have developed proprietary integration methods that others haven't mastered yet. The real breakthrough could lie in the display panel itself. Samsung Display is reportedly developing a custom panel exclusively for Apple that integrates touch sensors directly into the display, rather than layering them separately as seen in current foldables. This approach reduces overall thickness by nearly 19% while also creating a more rigid structure that resists deformation over time. Fewer layers also mean fewer stress points, which are often responsible for crease formation. The hinge is the final and perhaps most crucial piece of the puzzle. Apple is said to be experimenting with a hinge made from liquid metal combined with titanium and stainless steel, promising improved durability, smoother motion, and more precise stress control during folding. However, turning this engineering vision into a reliable consumer product is proving difficult. Apple is currently stress testing whether its ultra-thin glass can survive hundreds of thousands of folding cycles without developing imperfections. This long-term durability testing is a major reason behind the delayed timeline. Multiple Chinese display manufacturers are also being evaluated, suggesting Apple is preparing for large-scale production while minimizing supply chain risks. At this stage, the project appears to have moved beyond experimental design and into early production validation, where real-world manufacturing limits are tested against Apple's high durability standards. Of course, all this cutting-edge technology comes at a cost. Industry insiders believe the foldable iPhone could be priced between $2,000 and $2,500, positioning it as a premium productivity device rather than a direct replacement for a standard iPhone. Apple's cautious production estimates reflect this strategy, with initial volumes expected to land between 8 and 10 million units in 2026, potentially scaling up in 2027 if the technology proves reliable. Samsung Display has reportedly been producing panels specifically for Apple since 2024, while companies like Corning and Amphenol are supplying ultra-thin glass and hinge components, ensuring Apple isn't dependent on a single supplier. Ultimately, the biggest question remains whether a crease-free foldable display can maintain its flawless appearance after years of real-world use across different climates and conditions. Apple knows that releasing a premium device that develops visible creases after a few months would go against its "it just works" philosophy. If successful, the foldable iPhone wouldn't just mark Apple's entry into the foldable market, it could finally prove that crease-free, durable foldable displays are practical for everyday use. And that could change the future of smartphones entirely.